A reinforcing shot of cooler air will bring another chance of thunderstorms to part of the state later today, tonight, into Wednesday morning. And what about soon-to-be Hurricane Helene, a big problem for Florida? Let's talk about it in this Tuesday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. And a very good morning to you. I am Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. It's Tuesday, the 24th of September, 2024. Had a few showers yesterday morning. Actually, we had quite a bit of thunderstorm activity. Dropped 3 to 4 inches of rain in the southern portions of the DFW Metroplex. I could edit that out, but that's a classic Baldy-in-Chief moment. And besides, it just shows I need to drink coffee. We're not doing that again today, but fortunately, for some, we will have the opportunity for more rain tonight, along with a reinforcing shot of cooler air. Let's start off by looking at the high-res rapid refresh model for today, tonight, into Wednesday. Now, you can see scattered showers and storms possible really from the Concho Valley, south central Texas, Brazos Valley, southeast Texas this afternoon to early this evening. Not expecting much in the way of severe weather. Could be some maybe dime-sized hail, wind gusts to 45 miles an hour, lightning, and brief heavy rain. This evening, maybe as soon as 4 to 5 p.m., we're anticipating the potential of thunderstorms developing along the leading edge of a reinforcing cool front. Western, southwestern Oklahoma, central, southern Oklahoma, into eastern Oklahoma. This model then brings that cluster of thunderstorms south into Texoma, northwest Texas, north Texas, and the Arklatex late this evening into early Wednesday morning. Some of those storms may be on the rowdy side with wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, quarter-size hail, heavy rain, and lightning. You can see those storms continue moving south-southeast Wednesday morning. Perhaps a wet Wednesday morning rush hour in DFW out to Tyler, as that front makes it all the way down to the Gulf Coast and deep south Texas by Wednesday evening. You might be asking, well, why is Crashy the cold front in a modest form making it all the way down to the Gulf Coast so quickly in September? Well, you see, we're going to have a hurricane in the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Northwesterly flow on the northwestern side of that hurricane is going to allow Crashy, the cold front, in modest form, to move southward more quickly. Florida is going to have a bad time with the hurricane. We're just going to get a reinforcing shot of fall-like air. There's been worse trade-offs in the world, though we wish no harm on our Florida friends. Fire weather conditions over the next few days from the Texas A&M Forest Service. Low to moderate fire danger both today and Wednesday, with a bit higher fire danger as we get into Thursday, as we see a drier air mass. Forecast rain totals over the next 5 days, with the opportunity of scattered showers and storms with activity this afternoon, and then the cool front moving southeast tonight into Wednesday. Some folks, especially across the eastern half of the state, may get lucky and pick up a quick half-inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. Widespread precipitation and flooding is not expected at this time, but you might get a quick thunderstorm. Now let's talk about what many are probably wondering: what on earth is going on with Helene? Well, this morning it remains potential tropical cyclone 9. We're just going to call it future Helene because PTCs are a fancy way of saying it has not yet achieved organization required to be called a tropical depression or tropical storm. In terms of communication, for all intent and purposes, this is just incipient Helene, and we're just going to call it future Helene because PTCs, meh. That's about as much as I'm going to say about that without getting in trouble. Located in the Western Caribbean, it's going to pass through the Yucatan Strait and make its way into the eastern Gulf of Mexico Wednesday afternoon. Slowly organizing today, it looks like, becoming a tropical storm at some point today, as soon as this morning perhaps, and then a hurricane by Wednesday afternoon, rapidly intensifying into a major hurricane, Category 3 status, before making landfall, perhaps, in northwest Florida late Thursday afternoon. We note the National Hurricane Center has issued hurricane storm surge and tropical storm watches for several regions of Florida, including portions of the Florida Panhandle, northwest Florida, West Florida, Central Florida, down to the Florida Keys. Even if this hurricane makes landfall as a Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3 plus, it's going to be a very large hurricane, similar to that of the size of Hurricane Ike in 2008, which made landfall as a Category 2 near Galveston, but brought a storm surge up to 25 feet above ground level because of its large size. Unfortunately, this is going to be a similar situation in that we're going to have a very large hurricane. Taking a look at the forecast storm surge. It's never good when the National Hurricane Center brings out the spooky purple of doom, and that is what they have done from the I'm not even going to pronounce that. Let's just pretty much say from Mexico Beach, east of Panama City, all the way down to the Florida Keys, anywhere from a 1 to 15-foot storm surge. That does include a 5 to 8-foot storm surge in Tampa Bay. Keep in mind, this is a particularly susceptible portion of the Gulf Coast, and where we have an area that is notoriously vulnerable to storm surge. So even a modest hurricane would bring a big-time storm surge. A major hurricane with a very large size, thus a large wind field pushing a lot of water, has the potential to bring a potentially catastrophic storm surge. And if the intensity forecast goes up from a maximum sustained winds around 115 miles an hour, well, unfortunately, that storm surge could go up to 20 feet or something like that. So we're probably going to see a pretty sizable amount of coastal evacuations ordered at some point of the next day. The specifics will be up to local emergency management, up to local first responders. Hold on a second. My fire scanner's making a bunch of hoopla. Now look, see Baldy in Chief. One benefit of a camera like this is it'll move with my head. Congratulations, I'm not editing that out either because, well, it's Baldy and Chiefisms. This is going to be quite an impactful hurricane, so we'll see what happens. We have multiple storm chasers on the way. In fact, I think at least half our team is on their way down there to document landfall of this, so we'll have probably live video of that on the Texas Storm Chasers YouTube channel on Thursday, and a documentary style thing thereafter. But again, PTC number 9, a meteorologically cluttered way, some say unnecessary cluttered, of future Helene will become a tropical storm and probably intensify pretty darn quickly, like several famous hurricanes of the last 5 years, as it makes its way towards the west coast of Florida over the next 3 days. So we're going to need to keep those folks in our thoughts and prayers. For us, well, here's the longer range American weather model taking us through Thursday into the weekend. You could see moisture from Helene making its way into portions of Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi as we get into Friday. It may try to get a bit close to us as not a hurricane or anything, just residual moisture. We might see some moisture, cloud cover across portions of eastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas as we get into Friday and Saturday, maybe a few showers. We'll see, but notice that a majority of the state remains under northerly flow until Sunday, when we start to see light southeast winds return, which should, for the most part, result in pretty nice weather over the next few days, excluding, well, storm chances later today, tonight to Wednesday morning, and then some activity across the northeastern quarter of the state as we get into Friday and Saturday. But in terms of impacts from Helene, zilch, zero, nada. We don't have to deal with it. And for that, we can be thankful, but that doesn't mean we're going to be thankful or chipper at the expense of folks in Florida who, unfortunately for them, are probably going to be dealing with another significant disaster over the coming days. High temperature forecast across the state of Texas over the next several days. Well, northwestern half of the state, northern two-thirds of the state, we're looking at mostly 80s to low 90s this afternoon, with mid-90s across Edwards Plateau, South Texas, Rio Grande Valley, Coastal Plain, South Central Texas, Southeast Texas. It's still pretty warm. Tomorrow, you can definitely see that reinforcing cold front making its way south, looking at highs mostly in the low to mid 80s. Northern half of the state with 90s still. Southern third of Texas. Thursday, yeah, I mean, honestly, kind of same. We're looking at highs from about 80, 82, all the way up to 95. And then we start to warm back up as we get into Friday. Upper 90s, Edwards Plateau, South Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Saturday, 80s to 90s across the state, which, yeah, technically is getting above average as we are approaching the final days of September. But, I mean, at least it's not 110 degrees. Let's not find a way to do that either, but small victories. Here's the Climate Prediction Center's outlook from September 29th through October 3rd. I have no idea why Ola, Arkansas is on the map, but apparently that's just the magical happy place here. And the only part of the country, really, that doesn't have a pretty good chance of above average temperatures as we go into the first days of October. I can't believe we're already almost to October. Where is the year gone? Oh yeah, most of my nights in April and May were spent doing tornado coverage. That's where most of the year is gone. I'm still slightly antagonized over that and sleep deprived, but that's okay. Precipitation outlook, well, as you might expect with landfalling hurricane and residual moisture, looking like we're going to have a above average potential for precipitation continuing across the eastern third of the country as we get into the weekend and early next week, while our rain chances are not looking great outside of a few showers Friday and Saturday in northeast Texas and the Arklatex. But on the bright side, we're not getting hit by a hurricane. We're not getting hit by a B-NATO. If you haven't seen that commercial yet, you probably will. I'm rolling my eyes. No Sharknadoes, probably. And we don't appear to be on the verge of having catastrophic wildfires, so small victories. And it is at least a little cooler in the mornings. I get to wear this comfy sweater covered in dog hair. Thanks, Cece. But that's okay. We'll keep you updated on Helene, even though it's not going to be an issue for us in Texas. We are still going to keep up to date with it because we're weather weenies and that's what we do. And half our team is heading out that way. Who doesn't enjoy 15-plus hour drives to Florida? But that's going to be it. You can get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radar, and more in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. And as always, you can find us here on YouTube, Texas Weather Center. Thank you for tuning in this Tuesday morning. We'll have your next Texas Weather Roundabout bright and early on Wednesday. Have a great day. Keep the folks in Florida in your thoughts and prayers. God bless.